My name is Avil Beckford, and this is session 1 of Knowledge in Power, where I teach you leadership reading strategies. I'm going to share my screen now. Before I start the presentation, I'm going to do a 5-minute meditation so you understand what it feels like to be in the alpha brainwave state. Now, this stage is important because this is a stage where you learn and you absorb the information. So it's good for when you're reading and when you're learning. So with the meditation, just listen to what I say and just do it. Let us begin by finding a comfortable position. Take your time. Close your eyes and open your hearts and minds. Take a deep, slow breath in, and while exhaling, feel your body completely relaxing from your head all the way down to your toes. Take another deep, slow breath in, and while exhaling, relax your mind and allow only peaceful thoughts. Take another deep, slow breath in, and while exhaling, mentally become blissfully aware that you are now feeling very relaxed, mentally and physically. To help you enter a deeper level of relaxation, I'm going to count from 10 to 1. On each descending number, you will feel yourself going deeper and you will relax deeply and peacefully. 10, 9. Feel going deeper. 8, 7, 6. Deeper and deeper. 5, 4, 3. Deeper and deeper. 2, 1. I want you now to imagine that you're lying on a beautiful sandy beach on a tropical island. You can hear the waves gently lapping on the shore. You can feel the gentle warmth of the air on your skin. It is almost sunrise. The sky's just dark enough for you to see the last few stars, and the palm trees are silhouetted against the sky. You feel completely relaxed and at peace here. You watch the stars and the palm trees, and you feel your whole body completely relaxing from your head all the way down to your toes. The sky is now becoming lighter and lighter. It is silent and peaceful, with only the gentle sounds of the seagulls and the lapping waves in the background. The stars are slowly fading away, and you're relaxing even deeper and deeper. The darkness slowly fades away, and the sky becomes lighter and a beautiful morning blue. And the horizon is now starting to glow, and the first rays of the sun touch the palm trees, shining yellow gold. And now as the sun softly rises, you can see the sun illuminating the palm trees as it moves across the trunks of the tree, and you feel this wonderful warmth within you, and you relax deeper and deeper. The sun is now reflecting on the surface of the water, sparkling yellow gold, flickering reflections of the sun that is now rising in the sky. Enjoy this beautiful place and time. This is your place. You could go for a swim or walk, or just lie back and relax even deeper. And now the sun falls across your body, bathing you in warm, golden light. You absorb this wonderful energy that is flowing into you, healing and relaxing you completely. And you feel the sun on your skin and feel it filling you with joyful, youthful, enthusiastic, motivating, vibrant, energetic, energy, stamina, and strength. Your entire body is now entirely relaxed and resting peacefully. Feeling renewed. This is your time to rest and renew and re-energize. And here you are in that beautiful place. Relax. Take another deep, slow breath in. Exhale and go deeper. You are now resting peacefully at the exact level where you allow your perfect healing and re-energizing to take place. Repeat mentally after me and shout it out silently and hear it echo throughout the universe and back to you. I enjoy relaxing. I enjoy relaxing, knowing that it re-energizes me. I enjoy relaxing, knowing that it is healing for me, both mentally and physically. I enjoy relaxing, knowing that it gives me more calm, clarity, and wisdom, so that I can find solutions more easily. I enjoy relaxing, knowing that it makes me more efficient, which saves me more time. I now choose to enjoy relaxing this way more and more often. Relax. Always remember you're doing well. You are enjoying the journey. You are contributing to make this a better world for all. Thank you. Sometimes when we're so busy and move in challenging ways, it may feel like there will never be stillness. Yet, here you are, relaxed, still, effortless, peaceful, re-energized, renewed. Know that you can always come back to this rest, this space, this peace. May your life be filled with perfect health, peace, love, and prosperity. May you be blessed with good health and loving relationships. May the energy of health, peace, and love continue to flow in your life forever. I wish you perfect health and complete enjoyment of life. As you come out of this wonderful state of peacefulness, you will feel fully rested, alert, energetic, and healthy. Relax and come out of your meditation at your own pace. Slowly bring yourself back to this time and place. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Take your time. By now, you should be feeling relaxed, yet alert. This is the alpha brainwave state, and it's a state where learning takes place. You absorb more of the information, and during the presentation, I'll teach you some other strategies to get into alpha besides meditation. So this is a little bit about me. Some of you know me, but you may not know this about me. I also wanted to add that I got my 15 seconds of fame and I missed it. I do a lot of book reviews and summaries. The BBC World Book Club contacted me because they were having Jeffrey Archer on to celebrate the 30th anniversary of his book, Cain and Abel. And when the BBC did a search, they found my blog post with the summary. They thought it was really good, so they asked me if I could submit a question. I submitted the question, and I didn't hear anything from them, so I assumed they weren't going to use my question. And 3 months or so later, all of a sudden, people are contacting me, people I went to school with, congratulating me on being on the BBC. So that's my story about my 15 seconds that I missed. So here's what you're gonna learn now. Why do you need to read 5 books? How to choose the right books to read. I'm gonna introduce you to leadership reading, and I'm also gonna introduce you to a system that I created to help you read strategically and cut hours off your reading time. So when you want to learn a topic, become knowledgeable about something, you need to read at least 5 books. I've read these several times and no one explained to me why 5 was the magic number. However, last year, while I was reading The Art of Impossible by Steven Kotler, I found the answer there. So it takes 5 great books on a topic if you're trying to learn it. Most subjects have some sort of terminology and language that they need. So become fully versed in that topic. You have to understand the language and terminology, and reading 5 kinds of books will help you get there. When you read the first 3 books, you won't understand what, most of what you're reading, especially if it's something difficult that you're trying to grasp. So there are 5 kinds of books that you need to read. So the first one is a best-selling book on the topic. It can be fiction or nonfiction. And I've learned so much from some of the fiction books that I've read. When you have an author that writes well, who does research, you can learn a lot on the topic, even though it's fiction. Book 2, popular but technical. This is closely or directly related to the topic you're trying to understand. Book 3, semi-technical, directly related to the topic and is reader, but it's not a page turner. Book 4, it's hard to read. You discover problems in the field that the experts are thinking about. So you read this 4th book and you get insights into what these experts are grappling with. Now, number 5 book is hardest book to understand. It may not be hard to read, but it's hard to understand. This may sound like an oxymoron, but it really isn't. Some books, maybe because the kind of words they read, you can read through it pretty quickly, but the topic is difficult, so you may struggle with it. Now, let's say for this year, there's a subject that you want to become more well-versed in. You're going to use these 5 types of books. So I want you to turn off the recording and write down, the 5, titles of the 5 different books. So I'm going to go back one slide so you can look again at the first 3, and then I'll come back so you can look again at this. So you can turn back on the recording. Now, most of you have a lot of unread books on your bookshelf. You may be overwhelmed by the sheer amount of these unread books. The Eisenhower Matrix, I'm going to use it to explain to you how you can choose and prioritize the books to read. Your main focus must be on the top 2 quadrants, urgent and important, not urgent and important. So for urgent and important, usually this has to do with your short-term goals, what you're trying to accomplish right now. It's books related to your immediate needs, books that will give you essential knowledge for the project you're working on and your current work responsibilities. These books address the critical issues or challenges you're facing now. The second quadrant, not urgent and important, you need to schedule this. So this has to do with your long-term goals and aspirations. A lot of times we have long-term goals and we're seeing them in the future out there. We think that we'll have time to get to them. And next, the time has passed and you didn't accomplish your long-term goals because you kept on putting it off. So what you can do is to schedule to read these books that will help you with your long-term goals and your aspirations. These books provide valuable insights and expertise in your field of interest or in a field that you're interested in. And these books are recommended from people you trust and experts in the field that you trust. These books cover foundational topics or concepts in your area of expertise, or maybe you want to switch to a different area, so whatever that may be. Now, the last 2 quadrants, not urgent, not important, and they recommend that you eliminate these books. But I caution you to take a step back. When I was doing research for this, books for entertainment fell into this category. And the thing about it is that I love to read. Reading has always given me pleasure. So there's certain types of fiction that I love to read, and I'm not gonna eliminate them just because this matrix says so. I love my murder mysteries. I love detective stories and other books. I'll continue to read them. So just put things into perspective. Urgent but not important. They recommend that you delegate this. So I recently learned that sometimes like CEOs and senior level managers, what they do is outsource, delegate their reading to subordinates. I've actually met some people at one point, that's what they did. So these are books that are time sensitive because of upcoming events, conferences, or discussions. So they would ask their subordinate to read the book and provide a 1-page summary. And this could be books that are trending or gaining significance, and books that have time limited availability or discounts. So I just wanted to share this matrix with you so you can use it to prioritize the order in which you will read the books, the unread books on your bookshelf. So let's talk a little bit about leadership reading. I absolutely love this quotation from Patrick Collison, the co-founder of Stripe. It's one of the silliest things in the world, in my opinion, for people to feel they need to finish a book. I think a lot of time people are suffering from the fear of missing out. They're thinking that they have to read the book cover to cover because they don't want to miss out on important information. At the end of this workshop, I hope you'll be thinking differently. In the book, Turn the Page, Chris Brady says, leaders read to learn what they need to know, and we'll explore this further. Now, Russell Stover, an educator, found that only 4 to 11% of the text on the page of a nonfiction book carries meaning. That's about one sentence. Most of the information is context that is filled with case studies, examples. How many case studies do you need to read about? How many examples do you need to read? I want you to think about this because this is food for thought. The 80-20 rule applies to reading nonfiction book. So you can read 20% of the book and understand 80% of it, which also translates into focus on the 20% of the information that makes 80% difference in your life. And I took that little quote right there from The Art of Impossible by Steven Kotler. Now, I just want you to think about this. And this is what successful leaders do and what they think. So when they're reading, they're less concerned with the mere knowledge of a million facts than they are with the internalization application of real principles and solution. So a lot of time when these people are reading nonfiction book, they are looking for some sort of information. They're trying to further their knowledge about something. So these people, they read to learn what they need to know, do, or feel, regardless of the author's intent or words. I wanted to say to you that there are 3 primary reasons for reading a nonfiction, for any book, in fact, 3 reasons: for entertainment, information, and to further your knowledge on a topic. So this workshop is focusing more on information and further knowledge on the topic, with more emphasis on the further knowledge on the topic. Now, this is a system that I came up with. The Invisible Mentor is my company. I'm not gonna go through, read this for you, because what's gonna happen, you're gonna see this model, the system in action based on what we're covering. So let's start with stage 1, read like a leader. The first thing you want to do is prepare your mind to read and learn. And I'm going to remind you that you already got a taste of that, because I led you through a meditation and I got you into alpha, so you know what it feels like to be relaxed yet alert. So here's what I want you to do in preparing. So write your 1-sentence purpose for reading each book. Write your desired outcome for reading the book. So after you have read the book, what do you want? What do you expect to do that you couldn't do before? reading the book. Here's another way to get into alpha, and it's part of the preparation stage. You do some jumping jacks and marching band. Also, it's not on the slide, but it's in the resources section of this presentation. You want to listen to binaural beats audio, and that will also get you to alpha, and I'll tell you how to get them. So you want to read or listen to an excellent summary of the book. I know that some people used to think this is cheating, but now that life is so busy, they don't anymore. What this does for you is to get the helicopter view of what the book is about, so that when you actually start to read the book, you have a place to hang the information. So you have this book that you want to read. You want to craft the questions you want the book to answer. Also, at this time, you may be grappling with some issues and challenges you're facing at work or even personally. List the questions here, because what often happens that you're reading a book, but you're reading for something else, and lo and behold, the answer to these issues and challenges that you're facing emerge, or you'll get some ideas that will help you. So stop the recording now. I want you to write your one sentence purpose for why you're reading a book. Write your outcome. What do you expect to be able to do that you cannot now do? Craft the questions you want the book to answer. List questions that address the issues and challenges you face, and read or listen to an excellent summary of the book. And you can do the jumping jack and the marching band before you do this. Okay? So let's continue with the presentation after you have done this. This is experiential. We're doing active reading. So the second stage is previewing. So you may be wondering how to preview a book. Get a kitchen timer or whatever timer you have and set it for 30 minutes. Don't set it for an hour, because you're going to use the whole hour whether or not you need it. So set it for 30 minutes, knowing that you can always add another 30 minutes and another 30 minutes if you need to. So here's what you're going to do in the 30 minutes. You're going to read the foreword, the preface, and the introduction. Not all nonfiction books are going to have all these sections, so you just work with what you have. The introduction is important because most of the time you will find the main and secondary ideas in the introduction. So at this point, you're gathering intelligence about the book. You started the process when you read one or two summaries of the book. You want to scan the index. This is going to tell you what's important to the author. So pay attention to the keyword and phrases with the most page number references. That tells you what's important to the author. And the other thing is that after looking at those keywords and phrases with many references, you may come up with some more questions to add to your list. And also, what has happened sometimes is when you're reading the summary of the book, you may come up with, questions that you didn't know you have. So be alert. You want to flip through the book to see if there are any charts and images, and just spend a little bit of time looking at them, a picture is worth 1,000 words they saw, and that is indeed the case. Next, you want to review the table of contents. This is the most important section of the book. It's like the skeleton of the book. You want to, when you're reviewing the table of contents, make note of the chapters and sections that align with your purpose and potentially answer the questions that you listed and crafted. So while you're with the 30 minutes, you want to also read the book. As I said, you may need more time. So you're going to read only the sections of the book you flagged as important. And as you read, you're going to take note of essential information. Essential information would be the information that aligns with your purpose. It could be information that possibly answer the questions that you listed. Depending on your purpose, let's say, for example, we're talking about some of the issues and problems you're facing. So when you pay attention to answer to your question solves problem. And perhaps you're reading because you want to increase revenues in your company. So you want to look at ways to cut costs, ways to increase revenues, ways to save time doing things. So when you're reading other books, I want this to be universal so you can see some of the other types of essential information for you. Now, when you're taking notes, you could do a mind map if you know how to do it. If you don't worry, because I'm going to also teach in another section how to mind map. And when you're reading the book, look for business models, processes, and techniques that the author presents, because that's important as well. So stop the recording now and do this. So you're going to do the preview and the reading, which is you're going to read the preface, forward, introduction. You want to scan the index. You want to flip through the book to look at the charts and images. You want to review the table of contents, flag the sections that are important to you, and start reading that section. For the purposes of this presentation, just read one section you flagged as important and start the presentation again. So you've taken notes as you're reading. It's important to review your notes, and you do that by reading it through a few times. So write down the big ideas. Identify any business model, process, or technique you found in the book, because this would be essential information. And as you were reading, what ideas emerged as you reflected on what you read, or what other ideas emerge as you're reviewing your notes? Now, let's say you've read one book on the topic you're interested in. You've gone through your notes. You've picked out ideas based on underlying themes or themes you uncover. You're going to group some of these ideas to make them bigger and better. So is there a business need you can satisfy or a problem you can solve right now based on the ideas that you came up with? You always want to quickly test the idea to see if it does what you need it to do. So you want to quickly apply the idea to a problem you're facing, and always keep in mind that ideas are seldom fully formed when you get them. And we're going to explore that a little bit more. So you have these ideas from the first book you read and you combine the ideas to make them stronger. So the combined idea, did it solve the problem or the question or answer the questions? And if it didn't, don't worry. But I want you to get into the habit of testing your ideas. So you've read one book. To lay a strong foundation for a topic, we said you should read 5 books. So you're going to read your second book, your third book, your fourth book, and your 5th book. You can, for the purposes of this, you can do 3 to 5 books. And then you would go to the second stage of the model, the learning system. So this is where you're synthesizing the information from the 5 books. You want to identify broader themes. So remember that what you did was took the ideas from one book and you combine them to make them stronger. Now, what you're going to do is connect ideas across multiple books, across the 5 books. You want to make them bigger and better. You want to elevate these ideas. You want to make them more encompassing. You also want to connect the models and processes across books to bridge any kind of knowledge gaps. What's the bigger picture? Follow the money. Is there some sort of revenue factor associated with these elevated ideas? Now, this is something that most people would not think about to name their ideas. So when you want to communicate your idea, you have to be able to clearly articulate it. When you name the idea, this makes it easier for you to do. When you name it, use 2 to 4 words, but choose memorable words so that when you say the name to someone, it conveys meaning with simplicity and they totally get what it is you're saying. Naming your idea makes it easy to share and explain. Now you have elevated these ideas. You have ideas across multiple books. Now you need to take a step back. You had questions. You perhaps have a problem. Perhaps you wanted to increase revenues, cut costs, whatever. These newly formed ideas, do they solve the problems, answer the questions, increase revenues, cut costs, etc.? It's also important to note that not all ideas are worth acting on. Some ideas are ahead of their time. Maybe the technology doesn't exist for you to implement it. Also, it may be too expensive to implement ideas. So you may have to put them on the back burner until the cost comes down where it's less expensive to implement. So you have a bunch of ideas. Just take one and run with it. Build on it. What kind of projects are you working on where you can use this idea? This is where you want to test it, subject it to criticism, right? You may need to refine it. So that's why you need to expose your ideas to the world. Now, I often say, reading a book and not applying the ideas is like spending all day in the kitchen preparing a 5-course meal and not eating it. That's just plain silly. So how can you profit from the ideas? So here are a few examples for you. Create something. It could be a new product or service. You may need to add some more information and write an ebook or create a course. Reading these books, you become more knowledgeable. Can you use this to do a presentation to deepen your thought leadership? Profit doesn't have to be money. There are other ways that you can profit from the ideas you found in the books you read. So the next stage, you're gonna level up the process. The whole invisible mental system is about reading actively. Remember, you had to prepare your mind, then you previewed the book, you read the sections and chapters that were important to you, you took notes as you were doing this, you reviewed your notes, and you combined the ideas. When you read the 5 books, you were combining ideas across the books, the multiple books you read. You can stop this recording and you can do that, you know, making the ideas bigger and better and all that stuff. So you're practicing what you're learning. And then when you have done that, you can continue with this recording. So here's a table that I did to help you. So for book 1, you would put the steps in the model that the book presented, the process, the techniques, if there was one. You're also gonna list the big ideas. You're gonna do this across the 5 books, and perhaps you've done it if you've been stopping the tape and doing things as you go along. Level up is just like in terms of the big ideas. So you're connecting ideas across the multiple books, the 5 books you read. You're going to look at the different processes, models, techniques to see if there's any kind of knowledge gap. And you're going to come up with something new and unique to you that bridges the knowledge gap for you. So this depends on your situation. Now, some people find it difficult to combine the ideas based on this table. In a previous life, I was a data analyst. So I'm accustomed to working with lots of information, and that's not the case for other people. There are 2 resources, Rome Research and Obsidian. Both of them are, you have to invest time to learn them. Rome Research is $15 a month. Obsidian is free, but you have to pay, they recommend that you pay an admin fee. I paid the admin fee, but I had already invested the time to learn Rome Research. Rome Research has a lot of functionality, and I'm not interested with them. I don't need to use it as a diary. The only thing I need is to put my notes there and analyze it. People who are working on their PhD and for their thesis, this is what they're using. So let's say you put your notes from the 5 books, you're gonna see connections that you wouldn't see with the naked eye because the software is doing that for you. And this is how you will see what others miss, other people who just simply read the books, take their notes, and don't do any kind of analysis. Most people have heard about ChatGPT. ChatGPT can do the analysis for you, and I've been using it to analyze my notes. So I actually feed it my notes. So this will also help you to see what others don't know about, and I'll give you a recipe. So on this page, it's the prompt, the instructions. So you enter the first bit about, I'm going to give you 5 books. In this case, let's say you want to learn how to be more influential. So you're reading books on influence. Let's say you read 5 books. So you have 5 separate notes for each of the 5 books that you read. So the first thing you're gonna do is enter that. ChatGPT is gonna come back and say, go ahead. Then you're gonna type in the box, the prompt, go ahead. You're gonna have first book note, colon, and then you have the name of the book and the author. You can do shift, enter to get to a new line. And then you'll put your book notes there and hit enter. And ChatGPT will do that. Will say, go ahead. And you'll do this until you enter your fifth book note. Then you're going to end up, you're going to say finish, and you're going to do that. To bring this to life and make it easier, I'm also going to give you an example, with notes so that you can test it and work with it. So you become skilled at that. So instead of telling ChatGPT to summarize the book, don't do that, because a lot of times it comes back with false information. Because I've read a book and I had my notes, and then I asked ChatGPT to come up with a summary of the book, and all I gave them was a name. And when I was matching up what ChatGPT gave to me, there were errors in what it produced. So give it your notes and then ask it to analyze it. That's the safer way to go. I'm going to give you a reading worksheet. I have a couple books here. Just replace it with the books that you're using. So you're going to read those books and you're going to use the invisible mentor system. I've tried to make this experiential, where you stop the recording and do specific things. You could listen to the recording all the way through, and then you can also stop and do things so that you cement the information into your brain. Resources. I told you about binaural beats earlier. If you have an iPhone or an iPad, you can buy the Brainwave 35 Binaurals program in the App Store. You listen to that, and that gets you into alpha. I've used it, and I was in a state of flow, and I got so much work done. Brain.fm is a membership site. I think it's about $60 a year. If you don't want to spend the money, the binaural program is about $5-6. It's an app that you buy. If you have an Android, because Brain.fm, it's an app and it's also web-based, so that means it can work for both platforms. You have Brainwaves Pro, and you have binaural beats, study music. So for the Android, a lot of these binaural beats, they have a free version and they have a paid version. For what you will use it for, the free version is more than good enough. I found it good enough, but I also wanted to pay for the pro version, so I'm investing in the developer. I have an iPad and I have an Android phone, so I use both. We talked about reading book summaries. I'm giving you 2 places where to find them. Samuel Davis, he has 129 book summaries on his website. This is a clickable link. Before you read a book, you can check there to see if he has summarized one of the books you want to read. He does an excellent job, and you can rely on the information. The other person who I trust is Derek Sivers, and he doesn't summarize the book. It's his actually book notes, and he has more than 350 there. So this is a link that will take you there. We have a membership site called the Art of Learning Leadership Academy. This is the link there. It's a paid membership site. So that's a way to support me if you so choose to. I have what's called bookish notes. So think of a bookish note as a book summary on steroids. And what I do, based on a theme, I curate bookish notes. If you want to learn, for instance, if you want to learn about time management and productivity, I curate it and turn it into a course. So if you're taking the course, you'll have at least 10 bookish notes. So more than likely, it's going to be 10 different authors. So more than likely, each author is going to focus on a different aspect of time management and productivity. So you end up getting diverse perspectives and multiple points of view. So these are the different ways you can get a hold of me. So this is really the end of the presentation. I know that you will find this very helpful. Following the invisible mentor technique and reading strategically, reading to learn what you need to know, reading with purpose, reading with intentionality. You will shave hours of your reading time. And if you look at my screen, depending on what you're trying to get from the book, you can grow faster, gain more knowledge, stay ahead of the competition, and discover if a book is worth reading. Like especially when one of the ways you can use a book summary, say you may decide to read a book and you read the book summary and you get everything you need. You may decide not to read the book, and that has happened to me. So with this learning system, it's helpful and you save time. Thank you so much. And you can always reach out to me and connect with me. Thank you.